We are a river city, a bold city, the First Coast, a place to create and to belong. Here, the sun shines a little brighter, and so do the people. We share a love for our region, a pride for JAX, and a passion for the beautiful game, dedicated to giving everyone a sporting chance. Together, we will elevate soccer and sport in our community by lifting every voice. We are Sporting Club Jacksonville. We are Sporting JAX.
Hello and welcome into the Sporting JAX Report. I'm Cole Pemper. Mauricio Ruiz and Becky Burley will join me in a bit. Coming up on this week's edition, the date and place has been set. Sporting JAX will kick off its first season next year in the USL Super League. We'll hear from the league president, Amanda Vandervoort, Mayor Donna Deegan, and others about this exciting announcement. Plus, full season tickets are now on sale for the club. More details on how you can purchase your tickets. Plus, with the USL Championship season in the books, which free agents are attracting the most interest around the league? But we start with the big announcement made this week. It was quite a day on Tuesday at UNF as a esteemed collection of local leaders gathered for the biggest announcement for Sporting JAX since the club was awarded franchises in the USL Championship and USL Super League. The announcement came that Sporting JAX will open play in the USL Super League starting next August and that the first season of games will be played at UNF's Hodges Stadium. It officially means that Jacksonville will, for the first time in the city's history, have a professional women's sports team representing the region. It also marks a major partnership between the club and UNF.
This is an incredible day right here at UNF. This has been in the work for several months. It's like a dream come true. It really almost checks every single strategic priority we have. We have a strategic priority to be great for our community engagement. This is absolutely at the heart of that. Also we have a strategic priority for students, faculty, and staff success. This is great. And more importantly, it is so good to be partnered with an incredible organization like Sporting JAX. We have the same values. We're both pioneer, looking forward, but also paying a lot of attention to our community.
And that was an attractive part of this partnership too, is some of the upgrades they want to do, we also want to do. And so even when Sporting JAX goes to a bigger stadium and whatever else is next for Sporting JAX, what's going to be left behind is a legacy from Sporting JAX. It's only going to benefit our teams and as we continue to host national events. And so we're excited about that and the vision we also have for Hodges Stadium. I think Sporting JAX can be a player in helping get that done.
Well, let's bring in Mauricio Ruiz here. Mao, Tuesday's announcement was a special day for Jacksonville and a special day for Sporting JAX, special day for sports in our area.
Yeah, it really was cool. I mean, we talked about on a radio show on Tuesday nights on 1010XL that event felt like, even though we've been building towards it for a long time, it felt like the one tangible thing that we can actually hold on to right now as we continue to have other big announcements that are yet to come. But when you get the mayor in town, you get the president of UNF, you get the athletic director, all in the same place, and you get our ownership, and everyone, signs off on it and says this is going to happen here. It puts us officially on a countdown from August to now, August 2025 to now, to do so many different things that still have yet to be done. But it felt really real for the first time in a really long time.
Yeah, it certainly did. Let's look ahead. You've been involved in the process of identifying candidates on the soccer side of things. What can you share about that process?
Yeah, limited as far as names, but I'm happy to share about the process because it's exciting, and I want to make sure that our fans and our community understand that we're looking for the right person. We're looking for someone that's going to represent the values of our organization. We're going to give an opportunity to young players in our organization to grow. That's why the pathway to pro, the partnership that we've done with Florida League Soccer Academy to come underneath Sporting JAX is an important one, because we do want to create that opportunity for young players to grow and have a pathway to the pro, college, and eventually pro. So having a staff that understands that winning is important at the professional level. Certainly they're going to be measured upon their winning percentage at the end of the day, but also what they do and the investment that they have in our community. So getting the right person, not just professionally, but getting the right character and integrity that's going to represent our organization. It's something that's been really, really high in our process right now.
All right, thanks, Mal. We'll have more from you coming up in just a bit. Among the VIPs in attendance at Tuesday's announcement was Jacksonville's Mayor Donna Deegan. It's apropos that Jacksonville's first woman mayor is in office when the first women's pro team will kick off for the first time in the city.
I think there is very little that draws a community together like a professional sports team does. It gives such community pride. It gets people in the same spaces regardless of where they come from and every different aspect of life. And frankly, as a woman, I just love the opportunity to elevate women's sports, and to have this as the first women's professional franchise in Jacksonville is, on my watch, is amazing.
Talk about the impact on young women. The opportunities and the focus on women's sports is now better than it's ever been before, and this is just another part of that equation.
Well, you know, we saw what happened with women's basketball in the last couple of years, and I think that's just indicative of what is happening with women's sports. People are coming to realize that this is an exciting thing to watch and to be a part of, and the talent level is just absolutely insane. So I'm excited to see that coming through with soccer here in Jacksonville. I mean, that's going to be amazing. But for young girls to know that they can be part of something like this, I think you heard it said earlier that there didn't used to be these opportunities, and for us to be able to be a part of those opportunities for young women, I think is tremendous, because not only are you talking about sports, but you're talking about leadership, and you're talking about teamwork, and you're talking about dealing with life issues like how to come back from disappointments. I mean, there's just so many things you learn from team sports. So I think for women especially, I love the fact that it builds confidence, and that's what I want to see.
Well, of course, the opportunity for Jacksonville to participate in the USL Super League would not exist had the league not launched this year. USL Super League President Amanda Vandervoort has shown great leadership, great energy, great enthusiasm, and she admitted that she got a little emotional presenting the league's first expansion team to the nation.
Yeah, I felt like their eyes were all really locked on me. You know, I was feeling passion come through, excitement. It was a moment that I'll never forget, standing up there, actually looking at the news cameras and all the people who've been involved in building this club over the past, 18 months that we've been at this project. Because it takes a community of people coming together to do it, and to have so many of those people in the room, for me, was a very poignant moment standing up there. I got a little emotional, Cole. I did. It's really like I can't believe we're here. It was really special. Thanks for asking that.
Well, and to have the support of this university and the leadership of this university, you can really hear how much this matters to them as well, which I think it was essential for that to happen. Yeah. In order to have the kind of success that Sporting Jacks in the Super League is anticipating.
Yeah, the president, he had me rolling. He's amazing. Like, I want him to, we should have him introduce the first game. He'd have all the fans on their feet, like cheering for women's pro sports. Like, he's amazing. His support's incredible. Him, the athletic director, this whole university. Even today, the experience of the event itself has been soup to nuts. First class, first rate all the way, and that's the type of environment that the USL Super League and the players and the teams and clubs deserve. So we're incredibly proud and honored by this partnership.
One of the things that we haven't talked a lot about is the impact of the USL Super League on opportunities for women in sports, in leadership, not just the players. To go from 0 to 60 basically in terms of the opportunities here in a year and a half. For somebody who had played, coached, been a administrator, how important are these opportunities in the front offices, whether it's something in the technical staff or the business office, going to be for developing the next generation of leaders in the sport?
Yeah, growing the league hasn't been that easy to identify women with experience in professional sport. It's been a challenge because there just hasn't been that opportunity. So identifying women in particular, who want to come into the game, who aspire to be in pro sports, have experience that has led them to this point, but maybe not in professional soccer or sports in generally before this. It's been an interesting journey because I do feel like we're part of the professionalization of sport globally, right? And creating these opportunities off the pitch for aspiring future presidents of the league.
Well, there are 7 other franchises working to prepare to launch in the USL Super League, but only Jacksonville has announced publicly their plans to join the existing 8 Super League teams next season. And now that we know when the first season will be, we can also announce that season tickets are now on sale. For those who have placed deposits, you may have already heard from Madison Halesko, the director of tickets for Sporting JAX. He's fired up and ready now that the countdown clock can officially be started.
Season tickets are officially on sale. So our season tickets are on sportingjax.com, and it'll have access to all 16 of our home games. You can either pay in full right now or place your season ticket deposit, and our payment plans will start in early 2025.
One of the things that jumped out at me is $10 for students, which is obviously a big set of open arms for UNF students, but all students, right, for $10.
Absolutely. So every student with a college ID will have access to our $10 per game season ticket. It's by far our most affordable option. We really want the UNF student body to come out and support our club.
All right, let's talk about the other options, because one of the things that Steve alluded to in the presentation was some of the enhancements that are happening with Hodges Stadium. What will that look like, and from a game day experience, how will that impact some of those ticket options?
I think that's one of the most exciting parts about this partnership with UNF is we're going to be doing some improvements to the stadium as well, Hodges Stadium, where we're actually going to be putting in seat backs and adding in a club lounge and some of our premium options for our fans. We'll have 100 field seats, which will get you up close and personal to the action, and we'll even have some on-field suites as well. So you're going to have a lot of different options and variety for whatever makes sense for you, your business, or your organization.
We should also note that if you are not ready to purchase full season tickets just yet, you can still save your spot by placing a deposit. Just go to sportingjax.com to do so. Deposits for the women's team are $25 apiece, and for both the men's and women's teams, the deposit is just $40 per seat. In Mauricio's corner, Mal was looking at some of the offseason moves that are already catching his eye, and it starts with a young star from the Las Vegas Lights.
Sean Smart, a Clemson player, won a national championship, a player, bypassed MLS draft, actually turned down a homegrown deal by Orlando City, bypassed the draft to take a chance of playing first team football for the Las Vegas Lights, which were rebuilding their roster, and they found an opportunity. Sean started 33 matches, played in 33 matches, started most of them. And this past week, Sean was on the front of the transfer market website as one of the most one of the most promising young players in the USL and in the American landscape. There's a couple of easier ones. There's been a huge transfer just this week of Maxi Rodriguez, a player that's played over 113 games for Detroit City FC. We saw Detroit City FC have an emerging year under new head coach. And Maxi Rodriguez is a veteran in this league, 29 years old, still has a lot to prove, a lot to play for, but made a really good move to Indy 11. To Rhode Island, as Rhode Island just had a great season, made it all the way to the championship, but they felt an opportunity with Maxi Rodriguez to be able to pick him up as his contract is expiring with Detroit City. And it's a great addition into that midfield for Rhode Island.
All right, who else jumps out at you?
So Edward Kiza, he's the one that actually is transferring from Pittsburgh Riverhounds to Indy 11. Edward, he's a drafted player by New England Revolution, went to Pitt, played for Pitt Riverhounds on a loan, played in over 62 games, scored 12 goals this season. Had his really breakout season this year. He's 25 years old. Forwards, they do mature a little bit later, typically like goalkeepers. 25, still a young player, has a lot to prove. And Indy 11 saw an opportunity to come off of 12-goal season, double-digit goals. That's not everyone in the league that's doing that. So a really good addition for Indy 11.
All right, thanks a lot, Mal. We'll have more from Mauricio coming up a little bit later on in the show. And as we mentioned, season tickets for the inaugural 2025-2026 Sporting JAX USL Super League season are on sale now. Season tickets start as low as $10 per game for students, $12 per game for supporters, and $15 per game for general admission, with premium and field seating also available. Go to sportingjax.com to place your order and be among the first to join the movement. Coming up, we hear more from Becky Burley. What did the big announcement mean to her? We'll hear from the former Florida National Championship winning coach as Sporting JAX Report rolls on. While the USL Championship season has come to an end, you can catch every USL Super League game all season long, streaming live on Peacock. Time now for USL Super League highlights. Just one game to bring you. Fort Lauderdale hosting Dallas Trinity. Second minute, Felicia Knox to Ishada Hamid. And watch this to get the early lead for Fort Lauderdale United, curling away from the keeper, and the celebration is on 1-0 before the fans could settle into their seats. 68th minute, and Allie Thornton doing the dirty work for Dallas Trinity. Look at this, in the box, quick turn, one touch, and a goal, and we're level at 1. 81st minute, Hamid again working for Fort Lauderdale. It comes back to Addie McCain, and she puts it home. Fort Lauderdale United, a 2-1 victory at home over Dallas Trinity. Let's take a look at the USL Super League standings as they stand right now. And you see Fort Lauderdale, that win big for them, able to get them up into 5th right now. We're coming toward the end, the last couple of weeks of the first half of the season. There'll be a break in the middle of December through January, and we'll pick back up with play in February. Brooklyn on top, 2 points clear of Carolina Ascent. And Dallas Trinity, with that defeat at the hands of Fort Lauderdale, hangs there in 3rd with the Tampa Bay Sun in 4th. At the end of the season, the top 4 teams from the USL Super League standings will advance to the playoffs. All right, Becky Burley was, of course, on hand for the announcement on Tuesday. She's been working in the background on the technical side as well, as she's been joining us for our TV and radio shows. For the woman who launched the Florida women's soccer program, that announcement on Tuesday was an exciting day with her role with Sporting JAX.
I mean, honestly, it just feels like reality coming to fruition. And it does seem like a long time ago, but not so long ago at the same time. I mean, everything's going to start to get real quick, and I think that's what's exciting, is it just feels so real.
You alluded to the work that you and Mauricio have been doing in terms of the technical staff. Give me a little flavor of the kinds of conversations and the kinds of input you're getting from some of these very high-level coaches and technical directors when you talk about this project.
Well, I think what I've found is that Jacksonville is a destination, and I sort of knew that it would be, but to hear it from other people without my bias on that was really encouraging. And I don't think it's just because it's Jacksonville itself, but it's more the organization, the people who are involved with the organization, and how it's been laid out and first class. And I think it's really an attractive landing spot for people.
What you have learned about the USL Super League since the launch, how much has that changed your perception of the kind of players or the kinds of coaches that need to be here?
Wow, I mean, I think it's gone remarkably well. I mean, I think of all the startups of professional iterations of leagues that we've had in this country, and I just feel like USL is so far ahead of all of those. And now, you know, obviously, like some leagues like the NWSL have 10 years on the USL. But when you think back to when the NWSL started, or when the WSA started, or any of the leagues, I think we are way ahead.
And has that changed the expectation of the kind of players, or the sort of the backgrounds and experiences of the players who will want to play in this league?
I think so. I mean, I think it makes it a really attractive destination because they don't see it as a startup. They see it as, okay, maybe it's a first year of playing, but there's tons of planning that went into it prior, and that's a whole game changer.
All right, final thought. In this room, the energy and the excitement, you were standing there at the podium. What did you see of the faces as you were talking about everything that's happened up to this point and that will happen in the future?
I just think there's a good energy around this whole concept of partnering with UNF. I think the UNF people are excited. I think we are excited to be partners with them. And I just think the city of Jacksonville, to have a professional women's team, game changer amongst all game changers, and it's just an exciting thing for people in this area and beyond to have a path from youth to pro.
Well, we have seen great response from fans wanting to reserve their seats and tickets for Sporting JAX. You can do that too. We mentioned earlier, deposits $25 for the men's or the women's teams, $40 for both. Just go to sportingjax.com to save your seat for pro soccer in Jacksonville. Still to come, our Youth Soccer Spotlight. What did this week's announcement mean for the future of youth soccer in our area? We'll hear about it as the Sporting JAX report continues. Sporting JAX will be unveiling the official kit in the months to come, but already you can get your own Sporting JAX official merchandise, t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, and scarves. You can find Sporting JAX official merchandise at sportingjax.com, at our official team store on Phillips Highway, and at We Got Soccer. Time now for our Youth Soccer Spotlight, brought to you by the Bearded Pig Barbecue. Now that it's official, so many of the possibilities that we've talked about are becoming reality. Young girls playing soccer now have a pro team to inspire them, and that's a big deal for female athletes in our town.
Listen, even within the USL Super League today, we've got our academy program that features a number of U17, U19, U20 U.S. women's national team players. We've got 8 maybe 10 now, senior national team players represented from other countries around the league. And you can start to see the kind of elite level youth talent, but what that does is it impacts everybody within the ecosystem. So when you can play with and against the best, you become better yourself. So we're elevating this entire pathway of talent from youth to the pros, which we hope will continue to push our U.S. women's national team to be even better into the future. And we want to be a huge part of what the future of women's soccer is and does in the United States.
Can you imagine? I mean, wouldn't that be just incredible? I think Jacksonville is the perfect place for this. Our community embraces sports so much, especially women's sports. I really believe that we are the perfect place for this. But to be able to see a local product come all the way through and play professional sports from right here in Jacksonville would just be such a point of pride for me.
Well, we've already heard some great responses from girls soccer players in our community. I urge you to check out Renata DiGregorio's story she did with some girls from Florida Elite. You can find it on firstcoastnews.com. Really spells out the impact that the women's team can and will make. Be sure to join us every Tuesday night at 6 on 1010XL for the Sporting Jax Soccer Hour. It's on 1010 AM. You can also listen online or on demand at 1010XL.com. Still to come, a full week of Premier League soccer straight ahead. That's next as the Sporting Jax Report rolls on. You can watch the Sporting Jax Report every Saturday before the start of Premier League broadcasts on NBC 12. You can also find us on demand on First Coast News Plus and the Sporting Jax YouTube channel. Big game coming up after we're done. Chelsea travels to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in a London derby. Now the question is, Mauricio, what do you expect from this matchup?
And this is going to be a fun game, in my opinion, Cole. I mean, Chelsea sitting in second place, tied with Arsenal, another team from London. But their goal they're scoring a lot of goals right now. They've got 31 goals. They're leading the league in goals. Liverpool is second with 29, but they also leak a lot of goals on the other side. And Tottenham is just a team, I don't know. They're kind of like a bit of like a train wreck or bumper cars, however you want to call it. But every weekend, it's just something different. I mean, they go from beating Man City 4-0 to barely scraping a tie out of Fulham, the weekend after. You don't know what to expect from them, but they're always entertaining. And in a London derby, Chelsea versus Tottenham, I give the nod to Chelsea, but I think it could be a 4-3 game.
Of course, Chelsea has a lot to look up to as they're trying to chase down Liverpool at the top of the Premier League table. Hey, you can follow us on social media. You can see all the handles there for X, Instagram, Facebook, for YouTube, and for TikTok. Just follow Sporting Jax for all the latest with what's going on with the pro soccer teams coming to Jacksonville. I'll also say here at the end of the year, we have seen some tremendous momentum with the Florida Elite announcement last week, with this past week's announcement of the U.S. Super League, a USL Super League team launching next year at UNF. Only bigger and better still to come as we look ahead to the new year. Thanks so much for watching the Sporting Jax Report. We'll talk to you next week, everybody.